In the previous lecture, we have already discussed why DevOps is important. In this lecture, what I want to do is give you a sneak peek at what is it that you will eventually have by the end of this course. Now, I have here a Xamarin Forms application. And of course, you will not have to worry right now about this code. All I want to show you is the entire process once CI and CD are entirely ready and set up on App Center. So right here, let's say that I'm going to be creating a new feature. The first thing that I will have to do is create a new branch. I have here my Git bash, and if I execute git branch, I see a few important branches. So like I said, when you want to start to code a new feature, normally you create a new branch. So I will have to execute git checkout -b since I am going to be creating a new branch. And let's say that this is going to be feature 10. So now that I have feature 10, I can start coding my new feature. So I can navigate back to my IDE. And let's say that the entire feature is about changing what is being displayed here, where I am asking for some information about some book. So let's say that instead of asking for an author name just like this, I am going to specify that this is the book author name. And finished reading on. This is my super crazy new feature. It's just a small change, but this is going to trigger the entire CI/CD process. How are we going to trigger it? Well, we're going to send all of these changes over to GitHub. So we'll do git commit am new feature and git push to GitHub. Do not worry about all of the details. We're going to see them throughout the course. I am just sending all of these changes, tiny changes, over to my remote repository. And in the remote repository, you see how this feature 10 is here. So I will have to create this pull request, the thing that is going to be the foundation of the entire CI/CD process, the pull request. And as we will see in the next section, we will have to start on dev. And I'm going to create this pull request. Here is where the first continuous integration process gets triggered. Notice that we're going to have some checks coming directly from App Center. These checks, by connecting to App Center, are going to allow me to protect this branch, so only when the checks pass will I be able to merge. Now in this case, I can merge directly, and the checks can take a little bit, so I will just merge, but let me go ahead and show you over on App Center what has happened. On both the iOS and the Android applications, over on the Build tab, you will be able to see that that pull request generated a new build right here in the dev branch, where I can, by the way, also see the test, the master, and the brand new feature 10. So that process of simply creating the pull request has triggered this pull request build. As soon as this builds successful, and the iOS does as well, I will be able to merge my branch. So this is how continuous integration is going to work directly from GitHub. So how would continuous delivery work? Well, it turns out that as soon as I merge this pull request, and I'm forcing this merge, I should not merge until the builds pass, but I am the administrator, I can do that. As soon as that merge happens, notice that a new build is created. Now this build is actually different to this one that you can see has just passed. This one is a pull request build, and all it does is connect to GitHub for these checks to be added. And as you can see, both have passed. But the other build that we see is an automatic build. These will actually be able to create releases. And in fact, by the end of the course, you would have set a release to be triggered from the test branch directly through App Center. So over on distribute and over on distribution groups, you will find a new release available. That is going to be made available to all of the testers that you add in here. That is from the test branch. But also from the master branch, a build can trigger a release to the stores. So just as we saw with the dev branch, something similar will happen to master. A pull request build can be triggered, but eventually an actual build will also be triggered, the one that triggers continuous delivery. And over to the stores, we will see a new release, as we see right here. I know that this may be a lot to process, but do not worry, I just wanted to show you this so you get a better idea about what you will have accomplished by the end. Throughout the entire course, we're going to see exactly how I said that we will handle all of these things on GitHub, pull requests and checks and merges and all of that. We will of course also see how to configure the builds over here so continuous integration triggers these pull request builds and these automatic builds. We will also, by the way, add some tests in here. So some tests are going to be performed when those builds happen, and we can also trigger some other type of builds. Finally, we're of course going to be distributing both through App Center directly and through the stores. In the process, we're going to create a small application that is going to start and track some of the usage that happens within our application, and we're going to see these directly in App Center as well. So hopefully this small lecture starts to make you wonder how is it that things are going to work, and starts to get you excited about what is it that you will learn throughout the entire course. For now, starting in the next section, let's talk about how we are going to make all of this GitHub and version control stuff work directly from Visual Studio, so we can push all of our changes over to this remote.